So I want to talk a little bit about Google Earth. This is what you do at home. You get your Google Earth client and you come out to Google and you see the data that we have. We have a free version and a pro version. Pro version is just a better client. But what we mostly sell to states and government is the premier version, which I discussed earlier, where you're making your own globe out of your own data. So you take your imagery trained vector, push it through our software, and serve it up off of your servers. It can either be out in your DMZ so that the public can access it. It can be behind the firewall so that it's only accessible to your internal users. But basic idea is you're building your own Google interface for your users. Once you've created this Google Earth, you can connect to it 3 different ways. And let me just show those different ways. You can connect to it like this, with a 2D Google map. So your server living on your network has a 2D maps interface. I'm not connected to google.com. This is just a demo server that we use for, explaining the product and showing it. So you can have a 2D map. So if all you need is a map on your website, I mean, this is a full screen map. You can make a little tiny map with a dot on it. You can make a bigger map. You can make it slippy. And you can start adding your own information to the map. You can also have the plugin. So we have a Google Earth plugin, which is 3D running in a web browser. So if you want in your web page 3D, you can do that. And the final way to connect is with the Google Earth client, which most people are familiar with, but you probably haven't seen the enterprise client. So if I open up the enterprise client, it asks me, what server do you want to log into? You've probably never seen that before if you've used Google Earth. And I can either log into Google, but I can log into any one of these servers. This happens to be our demo server, so I'll log into that one. And now I'm logging into a globe that was built custom for my users, for my environment, with the information that I want people to see. So that's the 3D interface, the regular client. Now you might look at this, at the enterprise client, and then take a look at this and say these are redundant. Why would I have 2 3D clients? Why would I have a plugin and a web browser as opposed to just a... So the answer is, this is customizable. You can build a custom app around this interface. You can start adding your own buttons, your own interfaces, your own user experience behind this. It has a full JavaScript API, and so instead of just talking about it, I can show you an example. Here's the plugin, and the question is, how far can I drive in 1 minute or 3 minutes or 5 minutes? So if I go down here, I have a button that says locate. And I'll click the locate button, and then I'll just click a random spot on the map. So I click this, and we're actually sending a request. You see that geoprocessing running. We're actually sending a request to esri.com. This is an example that they show at trade shows, and this is kind of the Google interpretation of it. We've sent a request to them. They've done the analysis. And by the way, Google doesn't really do analysis. We're really much more of the visualization side. You can't ask any of the Google products, how far can I drive in 3 minutes or 3 hours, or show me all of the locations that are flat, that haven't had a hurricane in 5 years with the economics of, we don't do that kind of analysis. Google is really much more of a display tool or a display interface. And this is how far can I drive in 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, and we receive the answer back from the analysis engines, and then we can also go back and ask demographics of that region, and male, female, different age groups. So this is what I'm talking about when I say we can create a custom app. This is an application that does something specific. It does one thing. The users can interact with it pretty easily without any training. All right. So 3 different ways to connect. With a plugin that you can customize, with 2D, which is just a map, or 3D with the client. Things that we have working today, the plugin, historic imagery where you can kind of fade back in time and see what did it look like 2 years ago, what did it look like 3 years ago, what does it look like now. Portable servers, common access card. We have different authentication modes for the Google Earth server. So if you have security needs, we can use HTTPS, common access card, different ways of authenticating to the server. But new things that have come out recently, speed. one of Google's 9 or 10 founding principles is fast is better than slow. And so there's just like this relentless pursuit of speed. The Google Earth client pops up in like 3 or 4 seconds now. It used to take it 15 or 20 seconds. And you think, oh, what's 10 or 15 seconds? It's a lot. People click something, they want it now. So, just this relentless pursuit for making a better user experience. We have MGRS now in the Google Earth client. And the military and first responders have been beating on us about this for years. You get somebody on the ground who's looking for survivors, or you get somebody in the military who's trying to do a search and rescue mission. They use military grid reference system. They have a grid square, and they know how many meters this way and how many meters that way they need to go. And so, we really try to, over time, listen to our customers and get things into the enterprise product that aren't necessarily in the free product. And MGRS is one of those that was overdue, frankly. We have the ability to take Google Earth with you on the road. So if you're somewhere where you do not have internet, you have no internet connectivity whatsoever, we have a version of Google Earth that you can literally take with you on the road. So let me show you that. I have this Atlanta portable server. On my computer, somewhere in the hard drive, I have one file that's about 5 gigs. So I have one pretty big file there that I downloaded from my server. And if I double-click on this, it's going to fire up a Google Earth server on my notebook computer. What people used to do in the past is they would cache an area. They would take their Google Earth client, fly somewhere, cache around, and then disconnect and go. So you have a little bit of a cache, but you might be missing something, and that doesn't scale all the way. This says I'm now a Google Earth server, and you can view the globe right now in the browser. So I'll click on the browser, and it's going to bring up this globe that's literally being served right off my notebook computer right now. And there it is. This is the same globe that we've been looking at. No, it's not actually. This is Atlanta. All of this data is being served right from my notebook computer. I have roads, I have Department of the Interior information, I have different layers. It's all something that you can bring into the field. So if you're an emergency responder, if you're out in the field collecting data, if you're going to a place that you're not sure you're going to have any connectivity whatsoever, you can bring the entire solution with you. If I have a little bit of bandwidth, I can now use that bandwidth to reach out and pull live feeds from different servers. I don't have to waste that little bit of bandwidth on my just basic imagery and roads and towns and things like that. So that's a brand new product for us. It's going to be coming out probably in a month or so. It's in beta testing with our customers now. We have a portable server that has been working for a little while, but it was a little bit more cumbersome. We're trying to make this one just absolutely dead simple. Double click and go. Don't need anybody to fire up any virtual machines or anything like that. And the way that this works is, and I'm just keeping an eye on the time, so I don't want to kill you with details. The way this works is you go to your Google Earth server, and you can see a Google Earth plugin, right there on the right, and you draw a polygon. And you say, this is the area that I want. I'm going to Washington, D.C., so I'm going to draw a polygon around that area, and then I'm going to click the little button that says Build, and 5 minutes later, it comes up and says, your globe is available. It's 1.3 gigs. Download it. Here's the link. And once they download it, as you saw earlier, I just double-click, and I get the page that says, OK, we're ready. It's serving. Go ahead and connect. We have one other way to connect that I didn't mention. We have the Android phones. We have a Google Earth Enterprise client for your Android. So you can, from Android, connect to your globe. So I could connect to Alabama's state globe and start looking at the sewer lines while I'm in the field. So I'm in the field, I have my GPS that shows me I'm right here, I see the sewer lines, and I can tell, oh, the sewer line is right underneath me, or it's 2 blocks up. So mobile, we're really pushing hard on mobile. Mobile devices are getting so much better, they're getting much better capabilities. They're still not where a PC is, but that's changing really quickly.